Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I'm about to go on this Instagram thing real quick so that I can do this at the same time so that I won't be though leaving Instagram out of the fold. Well, she's hot. She's also passed, but she's hot. It was Kimura Lee in case excuse me, not Kimura Lee, Hannah Kimura, in case you wanted to know who I was looking at. Alright, so we're gonna do this now. Alright. Welcome to Instagram as well as Kung Fu Havoc number 2. This is my final video for tonight because I have things that I need to do, like more martial art videos for Instagram as well, but that's not going to happen tonight. This is my final video for Instagram for tonight. I will do more videos of Kung Fu Havoc number 2, but that'll be later on tonight. Wrestling is on. I'm recording one, watching the other. And also, everybody say a prayer for Mr. Brody Lee's family and for Mr. Brody Lee. You will be missed. So, this is a martial art video without martial arts in it. But I'm going to talk to you guys about something that I consider to be a catch-22 in martial arts. You do not have to agree with me, and I kind of hope that you don't. Alright? Because this is my personal opinion. You can put it in your pipe and smoke it. You can ball it up, throw it in the trash. You can do whatever you want with this, and you are free to offer me your opinion, and I will respect it. And I will get back with you if you leave a comment or whatever. First and foremost, I've been doing martial arts since I was 7 years old. I've been doing street fighting since I was 6 years old till I was 12 years old when my father put a fucking stop to it. Thank God for my father. But after I was 12 years old, I still had to deal with bullying. And I've been dealing with bullying from kindergarten to college. Some of my bullying never really got physical. Some of my bullying just got a lot of threats, how they're going to beat me up and kill me. But what they didn't know is that I lived for that shit. So when they issued the challenge, I would show up and they wouldn't. Not bragging on myself, I'm just telling the goddamn truth. Meet us at Washington Park. Meet us behind Venable. Meet us at Cherry Avenue. Meet us at Forest Hill Park. Meet us at the park behind Walker School, which I can't remember the name of the fucker, but I know it's behind Walker School. Meet us at CHS at McIntyre Park. A lot of those things went I'm there, and I'm there by myself. Because here's that thing. In school, I was forever the ever-present Clark Kent at school. I was the biggest pussy ever on school grounds. You ask those motherfuckers at West Haven what happened after I get out of school. When my real personality came out. When Kung Fu Joe, Daniela LaRusso all housed the body of James Williams Jr. Because once that school bell rang, once 2:30 came and middle school was over, once 3 o'clock came and grade school was over, we came over here when I got into high school. But from kindergarten to the 8th grade, we lived in the projects. And I was a different kid in school than I was at home. Because I'm a survivor. I didn't want to have to deal with my mom at school because I learned in grade school that when you have a white-looking mother, people like to pick. I know. This is totally not what this video is supposed to be about. This video is supposed to be about martial arts and the conundrum that I'm about to give you. This is where I'm going. Alright, I honestly don't think that no matter what martial arts you take, that you should ever start at a beginner's level regardless, unless you are truly a beginner. If you are truly a beginner, then you starting at day 1, level 1 is okay, because you're truly a beginner. But if you've had martial art experience, and a lot of people aren't going to agree with this, I respect your opinion in not agreeing with this, and I'm going to tell you the same thing that I just told you at the beginning of this video. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. Because I'm about to prove to you that this is why some of the belt systems don't work. I've been taking martial arts for 20 years, and I come in and decide I'm going to learn a new martial art. You can start me off at a white belt, but you need to train me at the level of experience that I have. Versus, well, here's how this is going to work. We're going to train you at the level of experience we want you to start with. So, white belt training. Okay? So, what happens if your white belt sucks and I'm better at a skill that I've never done before against your white belt? You can't do that. You're putting your white belt in excessive danger. You can't teach me from day one. You have to teach me from the level that I am at. You can't make me unlearn all the shit that I know. You can't. You can probably knock me on the head and give me amnesia and then start me from day one. Consequently, being knocked on the head does not give you amnesia. I've tried that shit. It doesn't work. Kidding. I've been knocked in the head a few times. I've had a couple of concussions, but I remember certain shit very well. When it comes to martial arts, I've never forgotten martial arts. I've had a couple of concussions, whatever the hell they're called, where it has affected my short and long-term memory. I gotta lie about that shit. I don't remember everything, which also makes it damn near impossible for me to lie. Now, in all the events, I remember what led to the concussions. You know, me and my cousin Brian jumping across benches. That's me. Me and Miss Early playing football in the 5th grade. That's me. And this is me being picked up by Coach Bean and carried to the infirmary. So I remember the things. I remember trying to fly at 5 years old, and I still have the scar up here. And I put my head on a Heineken bottle. So it hasn't affected my memories so bad that I can't remember how I got the concussions. But it did affect my memories on short term. You know, some things you are a little hazy on. So, yeah. Now, here's the thing. Most of the time you get your white belt, you start off with your white belt and you start doing these. Then your back step. There's nowhere for me to back step, but you know, you get your back step and your block, your back step and your block, back step, block, counter. You know the drill. I can't go backwards. I can only go forward. So you can give me a white belt all you want, but that just means I'm going to dominate your white belts because I am not a white belt. Now, my fighting experience is probably more than half the people who actually have higher belts, because when you actually put fighting to use, you learn that you know how to fight. Where when you just train, and most of the time when we train, we pray that our fighting is adequate, but we also pray that we never have to use it. Alright? That's that yin-yang theory. That's that catch-22 where you're like, you know, I'm great. I hope I never have to use it to prove that I'm great. I also hope that if I have to use it, I'm as great as I believe that I am, so that if I have to use it, then I will have the mercy and the knowledge to know when to pull back. So if you can't do that, then you have an issue. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Asshole, I know you see these damn lights. And 2, why you girls didn't tell her I took all the dogs out except for the dumb one, the black one. The black one wouldn't get off her sleeping ass. And I'm recording, and I'm also live feeding. So I'd appreciate it if you stop talking. Why the hell you think I came out of my room? Because we telepathically communicate? You probably don't even know what the hell that is. Go away. It was longer than 1 second. But I'm not going to stop my video and restart it to tell someone that I know for a fact that they can see those damn lights. Anyway, moving on. I've been doing martial arts for a very long time. Most of my life, if not my entire life, since I'm 47 and I started when I was 7. That's a big bulk of time. Alright? I never stopped training. In the Army, I didn't get to train how I wanted to. And about 3 to 5 years ago, I was on the shelf because of this big ass scar down my leg and this hip replacement. And every doctor that I went to told me, all your martial arts is out. You will never do martial arts again. You see my videos? Prove them wrong. Now, when I got into the therapy, I had 5 therapists. 2 females, 3 males. Only the Asian man, who I love now, said, you will be able to do martial arts again. You might not be able to do the shit that you used to do. Butterfly kicks are out. Tornado kicks, and you might want to be careful with those because of the impact of landing. But as far as butterfly kicks, wushu landings, and shit like that, no. No tornado kick, land on your side with your legs sticking out. No more of that shit. No wushu whatsoever. So that's out. That's like 10% of the shit that I've studied. So I can't do any flying things. I am technically not supposed to do tornado kicks. Y'all see my videos. I still do tornado kicks. But as a martial artist, I look at things a little bit differently. I don't think that I should ever take someone who has had martial art experience day one and start them at day one. If you've been taking Taekwondo for 20 years and you come to me and you're 20 years old, so that means you've been taking it at 1, which is not impossible, highly improbable. But let's say you're 20 years old, you're 23 years old. You've been taking martial arts since you were 3. Let's do that instead of 20 years and you started at 1. So you're 23 years old and you've been doing martial arts since you were fucking 3 years old. I am not going to take you back to day 1 of Taekwondo. So you come to me to teach you Wushu or Wushu or Kung Fu. I'm going to take you from your 20 years of experience and give you 20 years of my experience. We're not going to work on go back to horse punches or horse stance and punches. We're going to go straight at it. I'm going to see what you fucking can do. I'm going to ask you, show me your range of motion with your kicks so that we can work on shit. And the second that you start doing that Taekwondo flare, fancy tap kicks, I know exactly where I'm going to be teaching you from. I'm going to be teaching you from that point. And I'm also going to tell you that that shit's great for show. It's great for control. It's great for discipline. And it's practically useless in an actual fight. Except for in sports martial arts. Because in real fighting, if you get one kick off, you were blessed. Which is another reason my policy of fighting in general is that you never throw a kick first. You can get lucky, hell yeah. But what happens if your luck runs out? What happens if you miss? So whatever level of skill you are at is the level when you come to me that I'm going to teach you at. You've been doing martial arts for 10 years. You know, I got to play catch up on your body mechanics. Because body mechanics is an important thing as a martial artist. Body mechanics is probably one of the most important things that I need to know so that I can teach you. If you can't run up this wall and do a front round kick from Taekwondo, jumping front round kick, that's where I'm going to have to start teaching you. To run up this wall and do that kick. Because most people don't know that shit. Most people don't take that chance. If you can't do a jumping spinning back kick, I'm going to work on teaching you the kicks that you can't do. Which is why I'm going to test your range of motion. And I'm going to get you to show me every kick that you know. Alright? Because if you know certain kicks, then I don't have to teach them to you. If you don't know certain kicks, then I do have to teach them to you. I also have to teach you how you're going to use that kick. When you're going to use that kick. Where you're going to use that kick. What opportunity are you going to have to use that kick? You understand the policy of this. Because see, if I take you all the way back to day 1, gi 1, let me know when y'all get tired. You're not going to be in my class long. You're going to be like, nah, fuck this shit. I already know that shit. Oh, let's do knuckle push-ups. Nope. You already been there. You don't want to do that shit again. You've been there. Day 1, restart. No, fuck that shit. You've been doing it for 10 years. Let's say you've been doing it since you were 15. Now you're 25. Why the fuck am I going to take you back to 15? I wasn't your teacher then. Why am I going to take you all the way back through shit that you've already learned and teach you the same shit? You just wasted $200 to come and learn shit you've already known. That's not helping you. It benefits me because I got $200, but it doesn't benefit you because you already know that shit. My job is to take you past what you know. Teach you new shit. Teach you where to use the old shit and when to use the new shit. So day one, restart, fuck that. You're a black belt in Shaolin Ryu, a style that I don't do. A style I'm familiar with, but I don't do. You're a black belt in Wushu, or a high-ranking sash in Wushu. So now I got to figure out how I'm either going to dumb you down to what I'm going to teach you, or elevate you up and teach you how to improve the shit you already know how to do. Because some things is best left alone. This is the thing a lot of martial artists don't want to cop to or admit to. Especially if you know more than I can teach you. Then I'm going to be honest with you. It's like, no. I can only teach you shit that you already know by improving on your how, your when, your why, your where. You're pretty much already put together if you've been doing martial arts from anywhere between 5 to 20 years. You know, think about the shit you've gone through from day one to where you are now. You know, think about all the development that you've gone through with your training. You've learned how to punch, you've learned how to kick, you've learned a few katas, but when the real fight breaks down, have you learned how to apply what you know? Have you learned how to get where you must be? Have you learned that if you are in a fight, when can you apply what you need to know? A lot of martial artists don't teach that. When I did the exclusive poll thing for TikTok and Instagram, I've done it for YouTube more than enough times, so I didn't need to do it for them. But when I did that shit, you know, same thing like when I simulate the ring. There's no room in here. But when I simulate the ring fighting, you know, I can teach you that. Because I'm pretty sure that you have not learned that if you were doing Taekwondo. This is more of a Wushu, Kung Fu, Wing Chun type thing versus Shaolin Kung Fu. No. Shaolin Kung Fu, we got the bow staff. You got swords too. I got a Chinese broadsword. I don't fuck with swords. I have it because I have it. I personally prefer wooden weapons, unless I'm going to use that iron rings. I'm going to use something that I know that I'm going to use that can't hurt me if I fuck up. Where I got a sword, I could accidentally cut off my own hand. Not trying to have that shit happen. You know, swing the wrong way with a certain sword and you can impale yourself. You know that samurai sword that's super long, or the shogun sword is super long? Yeah. I'm not fucking with that shit. You want to learn swords, you're going to go to someone else. You want to learn bow staff, nunchucks, shit that I can do. Maybe whirl the sai, but here's the thing about whirling the sai. When the hell are you going to get the chance to do that? You're not. And you got to be really good with your blocking with a sai. Especially if somebody's swinging a sword and you think you're just going to catch it in those forks. You got to be really good. You got to be really, really good with your hand-eye coordination. And sadly, the eye is faster than the hand. Or the hand is quicker than the eye. You know the damn saying. I'm 47. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. But you know, that's pretty fast, right? Let me slow it down. Rope-a-dope. You know. Now for Kung Fu, a lot of Kung Fu, we turn to the side. You know, so it's easier. You know, versus, you know, both of them look kind of corny right now, I'm sure. But the thing is, if I'm going to teach you trap hands, or pushing hands, or trap and pushing hands, you know, y'all know the drill. I'm sure you've seen it in a movie somewhere, but it's an actual drill. You're basically playing patty cake. And then you can go from the side and switch sides and switch hands. You know, it's to speed up your hand-eye coordination. It's pretty much what it is. It's an exercise to speed up your hand-eye coordination. It is not a kata. Push hands, trapping hands, is to speed up your hand-eye coordination. It is also to teach you how to grapple and grab and pull. So if you decide to use Wing Chun, or if you want to go into Tiger, boom, boom. So you grappled in the Tiger Claw motion and you pulled. And in pulling so, you're also gouging. Now if you want to do it from Tiger to Kempo, you pull this way and then you thumb here, turn your hand in and punch him in the throat, you know, you're learning stuff that I can teach you. The stuff that I haven't taught you, that someone else has taught you, you're going to wind up teaching me. Whether you realize it or not, you're going to wind up teaching me. And that's just going to go check right into the arsenal box. Because everything that I can't teach you that you've already been taught, you're going to accidentally teach me without even knowing that you taught me. So when the next time come around, I will change up some of the shit that you've been taught and use it on you. So that you'll find out if the shit that you've been taught is effective. Because I taught you how to use it, where to use it, when to use it, why to use it. But it's up to you. So day one, level one. You can't untrain anybody. You can't. You can try all you want. You can't. And the reason why I say this is because I applied to a karate school. Well, I had my hip replacement right after, actually. But then I was told I couldn't do karate or any other martial arts, so I couldn't go with the guy to the school or whatever. So the guy, cool. So I went back and started doing archery and shit like that, going back to my roots. And I said, okay, well, there's got to be something I can do with this martial arts shit. But I can't go back to day one. Because even if you're going to learn a new style, I can't untrain my other shit. And it's something that I took from Mr. Ennis' class very well, because Mr. Ennis specifically said, if it's something you got that's good, we'll steal it and put it in our arsenal. And so when I just said what I said about you're going to secretly train me and don't even know you're training me, when we teach others, and we teach ourselves as we go along. Because we can make a mistake and fix that mistake by saying, no, this probably won't work. Because if it doesn't work on you, but it works on somebody else, then it probably won't work on everybody. Which is another thing that most people also leave off when they make these martial art videos about how some shit will work on some people, some shit will not. I.e. pressure points, for those who don't believe or support pressure point systems and don't support how certain Kempo. The Kempo I learned, Okinawan Kempo and Korean Kempo, specifically dealt with pressure points. The ones in here, the ones back here, your teardrops in your knees, which is go when I tell you about breaking an arm, Kempo and Shaolin Kung Fu and stuff, at the elbow, Aikido, at the wrist bone and shit. One, I don't want to ever protrude anybody's bone through their skin. I'm not trying to hurt you, I'm just trying to prevent you from hurting me. If I break this elbow, which would be intentional because you're trying to hurt me, it's not going to be as bad as you think. However, it's going to shut this down. So if you grab the back of your arm here and start doing this, some people will feel it right here. Some people will feel it down here. Some people, you get the gist. Which is why it changes from person to person differently. Kind of like a Native American story. Every tribe has a different story of how Bigfoot was either good or bad. Every tribe will have a story about how Coyote, the trickster, was a hero or a menace. It's just point of view. So I can't untrain what you know. I can improve on it, I can enhance it, and I can teach you when the perfect time to forearm knee, or forearm elbow, or pull knee kung fu, pull knee karate. You know, I can teach you the minor differences. I can teach you how, when, where, why. I can improve those on so many levels of what you already have. Or I can be a dick and go day one, gi one, white belt. Everybody, cheerio, kunye. Now, break it to horse stance. Right, left. And I'm actually doing this in reverse, by the way. This is my right. So left, right, left high, left low, counter, right high, right low. You know, we can do that all day. I don't have time for that shit. You're already up to speed on that. I cannot wave at you, buddy. I'm sorry. There we go. Me and technology. So, the truth of the matter is, and they just laid Brody Lee's boots to rest in the middle of the ring. His son did it. And they're making him wear a mask. So, if you're watching AEW right now, you know, farewell Brody Lee. Mr. Harper, Luke Harper for WWE, who are probably also doing a tribute, which is why I'm recording one and watching one. Back to the facts. I can't untrain anybody. I can't. I literally don't think it's possible. I'm not going to say it's impossible. But for me, I'm not even going to try, honestly, because if you've already had the skills, why the hell would I take you backwards? You don't accelerate backwards. you decelerate. I don't want this to go down. I want it to go up. And if you're going to teach somebody something, you want them to get better at it, not worse. You don't want to take something away from somebody that they already have and you want to like make it look not so good. No, fuck that shit. I want to help enhance you with what you've got. Especially if I get like a 14 or 13-year-old prodigy that's born of martial artists, oh, the sky's the limits. Because their parents are already going to set them up with what they know. And then they're going to come to where the big boys play. And then they're going to go where the giants and the titans play. I'm in one of those categories. You'll figure it out. I prefer to go where the big boys play because I'm short. So what can I teach you? Here's what I can teach you. If you're a certain height, certain martial artists, certain martial arts are specifically body mechanic involvement. I'm 5'3.5". All Chinese martial arts and Korean martial arts at a time when I started taking them, most of those martial artists, most of those people who were in China, Japan, and Korea rarely got past 5'8". Alright? Nowadays, the average person is 5'10", 6 feet. A height that I'm never going to see. Alright? I'm 47. Believe me, my growth spurt's gone. But I will tell you this. At whatever size you are, I will be able to teach you how to combat someone my size. I will be able to make sure that this martial art is for you. This martial art is for you. This one, not so much. This one, not at all. And let me explain that before I get off this video. Because, you know, you can't untrain people. You can only improve their training. If you are 5'3" to 5'5", or 4'11" to 5'3", Wing Chun is perfect for you. It's a female martial art, yes, but it is one of the hands-down best martial arts that a man or a female can do, especially when you're short, especially if you don't have a long leg range and you don't have a long arm range. Wing Chun is really close fucking combat. You know, those trappy hands, those push hands, they're really dangerous because they can push and pull and strap, and it's close body attacks. If you're 5'5" to 6'2", you can still dabble with Kung Fu, but I suggested you do karate or taekwondo. And people are like, why is you letting this height thing lead to what martial art you're going to do? Alright, I will give you an example. No offense to Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal doing Wing Chun would probably look like a flying horse. Alright? Shaquille O'Neal is exceptionally tall. Wing Chun is close combat. He can't really let you get that close to him because he has incredibly long arms. That's why I said no offense to Shaquille O'Neal. Same thing with Charles Barkley. Same thing with Yao Ming. Anybody over the 6'4" range, Kung Fu, I'm sorry, it's not for you. I'm not going to say you can't do it, but you're going to have to work a little bit harder than if you do karate. And you can dabble in Kung Fu. You can take some of the moves out of Kung Fu and put them into your karate, because you will find what's effective for you and what's not. Like if you swing and miss and you throw a back elbow, because the guy ducks, he doesn't see the elbow because you've stopped and you come back. That's a Kung Fu move. Now let's say you're fighting a Thai fighter and he swings and you get by him. He's going to throw a knee. So if he purposely sets you up for that knee, because a lot of Thai fighters do that shit, they'll throw a wild ass punch just to set you up to throw that knee. And a lot of them do that. Go watch some of these old clips from ESPN. See if I'm wrong. A lot of them will miss on purpose and throw that fucking knee. And you won't see that shit until you see the guy drop and they hit it with a replay. So you gotta think that shit all the way through. It's 10 o'clock. Damn near 10 o'clock. Travel Channel. I'm sure there's something about Bigfoot on. Or something scary. Okay, paranormal factor fake. Anyway, moving on. A lot of Thai fighters will purposely miss also so that they can come back around and hit you with an uppercut. Boom! You know, it didn't look like they would do it, but you know, it's over and boom, you can throw an elbow, you can throw a forearm. A lot of people do that shit. Your job is to not get hit while you're fighting. Henceforth, blocking this way versus blocking that way. You see what I'm saying? This block is for a hammer fist. It's about all it's good for. I'm sorry, you don't have to agree with that shit, but when someone's coming down and you're going up, that's what that fucking block is for. This block and this block work best for jabs, and your hands will probably be close. Boom, boom, you know. And if you're gonna do Kempo, you can knuckle strike when they throw this punch. Bow, you know. Hit them at the knuckles. You're gonna strike them somewhere in there. I'm not gonna go super radial nerves and all that crap, because when I was taking Taekwondo, good Lord, Mr. Ennis was a doctor, so he talked about every super radial nerve that he could find on the planet. God rest his soul. But the thing about being precise and hitting a super radial nerve, highly improbable. Not impossible, just highly improbable, because you're fighting. There's a lot going on when you're fighting. Your adrenaline, your tunnel vision, your anger, your fear, all that shit's jumping up into one, and you got somebody throwing a fist at you. So you thinking, boom, I'm going to knuckle strike him. You can think that shit all you want, but you don't know what you're going to do until that punch is coming at you. So you might block it and hit it, you know, because you can knuckle strike when they're this close, boom. But there's also a good chance that you might get hit in the face. So you want to block that shit. You know, other videos I tell you guys about learning how you have your high blocks, your medium blocks, and your low blocks. Those are blocks you're going to need. And again, if you are going to take a martial art, I'm going to be honest with you. This is the part where I say your size will be a factor. Because by height, there are some martial arts that certain people really shouldn't do. Alright? Notice I kind of squinted on that a little bit. And I'm going to tell you why you really shouldn't do that. They're just not made for your body style. Yeah, just be honest. You know, it's not made for your body style. You may want to take that shit. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't. But I'm saying, you know, 6'2", Kung Fu's not for you. It's just the way I see it. And I could be wrong there. But I'm going to be honest with you. You're 6'2". A lot of combat for Kung Fu, specifically Wushu, Gung Fu, and Wing Chun, are close combat quarters. So in a small room like this, your long, lanky legs might be taken from you if we're fighting. Because you don't have a lot of room in here. Especially this room is like junked all the fuck. But if we're fighting on a bridge, you know, like a really thin bridge, like this is the bridge, and we're on top of this shit. The only good thing about that is you have control of the environment because you're long and lanky. I have to get in. But if we're fighting somewhere where close quarters, the advantage is on me, then the advantage is on me. You know, 6'2", Kung Fu's not for you. 6 foot and below, everything's good to go. But after you hit that 6 foot mark, there are some things that an inch here or there will make a difference in a fight. It's the same thing with reach, but it's going this way. You know, a lot of people talk about, you got like a 12-inch reach. Alright, so that's cool and everything. You're a boxer, you got like a yay so much reach. You might have more reach than your opponent. Y'all could be both 5'8", but you have 2 inches over him in reach. Reach is a very important thing in combat. You know, if you got a longer reach, you got more distance to control that fight. But if you're doing Kung Fu, depending on the style of Kung Fu, especially the ones that involve close quarter attack, your reach might not help you. Because you have to get in there with certain Kung Fu styles. With certain Gung Fu and certain Wing Chun, you have to get in there for the hit to be effective. Alright? Same thing with certain Thai fighting. Thai fighting is tall, but it also has close quarters combat. Henceforth, forearms, elbows, knees. You're not going to do something like that to somebody who's way over here. If I can't forearm you, I'm not close enough. If I can't knee you, I'm not close enough. And if you watch old school Thai fighting, I'm telling you, you got to get in. If you're a Thai fighter, you have to get in there. Unless you're just doing the odd-ass fucking round kick. But if you're about to do a knee or an elbow or a forearm, you need to get in. You can't elbow and knee somebody from your leg link. If your leg's fully extended, you're not kneeing anybody. You're not kneeing anybody. Alright? Now, if they come in and you sidestep and you throw that knee, that's where the knee comes in. Because you got them in close enough so you can use the damn thing. Watch some Thai fighting clips. Watch how low kicks they are, like to the shin and to the thigh. You won't see them use a knee until they lock up. When they lock up and they're in that clinch and they're boom, boom, you see the knee. My hips don't work like that anymore, so that shit's out. So my only knee strikes that I can ever teach you is the sidestep, boom, and then elbow or punch down or back fist. Those are things I can still do because this hip replacement has done a lot to my arsenal having to adapt. Alright? Now, so don't go getting fucked up. Hip replacements, I'm glad I have it because I can still do my martial arts, but I have to adapt my shit now. I can't do the shit that I did in my 20s where I could knee you and then bring my foot back up and catch you on your way down. Or I can knee you and elbow you and teach you some combinations that won't work anymore because my hips don't work no more. This hip is going, but I'm going to fight tooth and nail until I have to get my surgery. But the thing is, I can't take you back to day one. Day one restarts for somebody who's been in martial arts for 15 to 20 years, it's not going to happen. I can teach you new shit. I can teach you to improve the shit that you have. I can't start you all over because I can't untrain what you know. If you've been doing Taekwondo forever, and I introduce you to Kempo, you're going to take what little bit of Kempo you can use, it'll be part of your Taekwondo. I promise, because you're going to go with muscle memory or second nature. It's going to come right back to what you know. And every now and again, you're going to know a new trick. So, boom, boom, you learned a new trick. Boom, boom, you learned a new trick. Now you're going to do your Taekwondo, kick, 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 and then you're going to lower them in, pull them, Kung Fu knee, or Wing Chun, or Kung Fu, and then you're going to throw them to the ground, and you're going to put them in a lock. So let's say you're going to Judo or Jiu-Jitsu, where you're going to put them in an arm bar. Yeah, you'll figure out what's going to work for you. My job as a teacher is to improve what you've got and elevate you to what I can teach you versus what you've already been taught. Your job as a student is to understand that I can't unteach you. Understand that. I can only teach you shit that you don't know. I can't teach you shit that you know. And then we got to work together on a plan of when you can use the shit that you do know plus the shit that I taught you at the same time. A lot of teachers aren't going to teach you that shit. You know why? How much more can I get? And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but you do have those people who only will teach you because you're going to pay them. You know, I started this journey in Kung Fu Havoc #2 and martial arts in general. I wanted to make Kung Fu movies so I could teach Kung Fu for free. My movies would run the dojo. You know, would keep it up and running. You know, make a couple of million here or there. Dojo needs repairs, done. Dojo needs equipment, done. That dream's not happening. Let's live in reality. That dream's not happening. I'm 47. No one's giving me a chance. So I got to keep pushing. And if I don't have this dream before I die, then so be it. It just wasn't in the cards. However, that does not mean that it can't happen. It just means that I got to work a little bit harder, which is why I asked you guys on Instagram and on Kung Fu Havoc #2, more martial arts stuff do you want? You know, because sometimes on Kung Fu Havoc #2, I take it political with a lot of shit about racism and other shit, and y'all can go check that dumb shit out if you want. But I really only wanted to do martial art movies and films and science fiction and scary shit. The problem is, no one's giving me a job because no one has a character that I fit the bill for. Now, back to martial arts. If I'm going to teach you anything, I'm going to teach you how to survive with what you know plus the shit that I'm going to teach you. And you, as a student, you're going to learn how to adapt because that's the most important part of any martial art teaching. You have to be taught how to adapt. You have to be able to be taught to adapt on a fly. If I throw a punch and an elbow, block, what comes next? You should already know that after those two blocks from this and this, all of this was wide open. This was guarding. Boom. See? Boom, boom. This is guarding. But all of this is wide open. My legs were wide open. So you're going to need to know what attack should you have done. A good kick to the gut from this side. Now, if you would have came this side, and if I'm fast enough, I could have come back down on your kick, depending on what kind of kick you're throwing. Also, if you're throwing a round kick Taekwondo, and I just did this and this is still guarding. So if you're throwing to the right, I can block it with that. If you're throwing from the left, I can come down and block it after missing the forearm and the punch. So I can come down and block it. You have to be able to block out of everywhere. Your blocking is more important than any strikes you will ever throw. I.e. Kempo, every block is a strike, every strike is a block. Everywhere there's a joint, there's a pressure point. Those are two sayings that I learned in Kempo that I will keep for the rest of my life, and I don't give a damn if nobody doesn't like pressure points. It's fine. That's your opinion. Until you battlefield test those son of a bitches, then you will believe what you want. But here's the thing I'm going to tell you before I end this video. Even if you don't believe in pressure points, or even if they don't qualify for what happens next, I'm going to tell you right now. They've worked for me. They don't work on me because I've built up a tolerance. I know I can handle a pressure point hold for a good 10 minutes. I'm getting old now, so it might be 8 minutes. But at the same point, I know what hurts me. You know what hurts you. My job is to find out what hurts you so that you don't hurt me. As your teacher, that is the job that I must teach you. I have to teach you what hurts other people. You have to know what hurts you. I'm a little weak in the gut. I know I haven't done sit-ups in 10 years because I wasn't allowed to do Russian twisters. The doctor has given me a specific amount of exercise. I can do crunches, but I can't do Russian twisters. I can do sit-ups. I just hate training abs. I can do pull-ups outside, and I can do the knees to the belly thing, which I need to start doing. So I guess next week, because it's Wednesday, I had to work, so I didn't get to go work out. But, you're going to know what hurts you. You're going to know by the end of what I teach you what hurts others. Alright? And the thing is, what hurts others don't always hurt others. Every human on this planet is different and have different pain hole thresholds. Understand that. But you need to understand, it's the same thing I said earlier today, in case nobody watched it, and some people probably didn't. When someone has you in the BJJ hole and they're trying to go for the arm bar, there is no rules to say you can't knee them in the guts. Because they're on top of you sideways. They have side mount. And you're like this. And they're over here pulling on this arm. They're focusing on your arm. They're not protecting their side. Why the hell are you not kneeing the shit out of them? I've watched BJJ matches where the person is focused on keeping this guy from getting this arm. Keeping him. Because he knows he's going to tap once he gets in that arm bar. Well, you know what? That's true. But there's just one problem. These are just laying there. They're laying there. They're not popping their hips and trying to turn or roll with it or any of that shit. They're just laying there. Where's the instructor? Where's the fucking instructor who should be saying, yo, knee this motherfucker in the gut? His ribs are right there. He's on you sideways. He's across you, top mount or side mount. He might start in full guard and transition to side mount. Once he's on side mount, if he's on his left to your knees, or he's the other way, his right to your knees, and he's tugging on your arm, what's he protecting? What's he protecting? He's not protecting shit. Because he has both his hands on your arm. He's trying to outmuscle you so that he can put his leg over your neck and the other leg between your arm and your other arm and pull that bitch apart. And all that time, when he was on top of you doing this shit, your body, you're on your back. Your knees should have been in his side. Your knees should have been driving as hard as you can into his ribs, his lung, his liver, something to create separation. Because once he's getting hit, this shit right here is going to stop. I promise you. When he's pulling on this shit, unless his adrenaline is pumping so high or he's jacked up on steroids or some shit, he's going to feel this shit. Unless he might be a TIE fighter and he might be juicing. But other than that, he's going to feel this shit. When you're hitting him with your knees are sharp, dude. Use those some bitches. Knee this motherfucker. He's pulling your arm. He has no defenses. He's not protecting his head. He's not protecting his side. He's got your arm. Both hands. He's got your arm. He's trying his damnedest to pull your arm from your clasp grip. And in that moment, while he's tugging on your arm, you could be kneeing this motherfucker halfway to hell. But people don't think like that when the adrenaline's pumping. People don't think like that because they're also not taught like that. I'm not a ground and pounder. I have no intention of ever letting anyone who does BJJ get top mount or side mount. And if I can't stop them, I promise you I can hurt them because I'm going to be kneeing them while they're working on my one arm. Because you have to understand how transitions work. Alright? I suck at BJJ. Clearly, I suck at BJJ. I do not have a problem being open and honest and admitting that if I'm rolling with somebody with BJJ, they're going to make me tap. Unless I do what I just said. Because you're focusing on my arm. I'm focusing on survival. So I'm going to take this knee, whichever knee is closest to your body, because you're going to be across my body. Understand that. You're going to be across my body. This is me. These are my arms. I'm on your body, trying to pull that. This knee, boom. For all you BJJ people, I just gave you a free lesson. Because if you watch, none of the coaches come in. They try to teach you about the hip swivel and how to roll from under them or whatever. But sometimes the grip is too big, or sometimes the guy laying on top of you drop dead weight and just as heavy as fuck. You got your knees. He's got your arm. Your arm is your main focus. You're trying to hold your arm. Fuck that shit. While you're fighting with him over holding your arm, you can still use your knees. It's called multitasking. You guys might not agree with that shit. But the next one of you guys do a BJJ thing, I want you to practice that. And tell me if it works. I know it works. Because I know how to multitask in a fight. You might not know how it works, but if next time someone gets side guard and they're laying their body across your upper torso, and they're trying to break your grip to put you in that arm bar where eventually your legs are going to be across my body, and this is going to be between your legs up on your thigh bone so you can hyperextend my elbow, and I'm going to be in a whole lot worse shape than I was when we started versus me and you fighting, and I'm bringing every knee I got to whatever side of your body, left side or right side, while we're struggling. We're struggling. You're not going to be thinking about me kneeing you in the side. I'm going to be thinking, I need to knee this dude in the side. He's got me dead to rights, and my arm's not going to last much longer. Because if he's stronger than me physically, I need to be smarter than him physically. Nobody's invincible. Free-floating rib, kidney, I'm kneeing you somewhere. While we're fighting over this, you're already laid on me. So I should have enough weight that I should be able to move my bottom core muscles to put my knees in the position where I can knee you. Now maybe there's rules in BJJ where that's not allowed. And if that's the case, somebody let me know, because that's not what I was taught in the Army. I didn't learn any rules in the Army. What I learned was C-clamp, clap both his hands, roll him. And again, as I said, I suck at BJJ and that shit didn't work for me. And my partner didn't like me very much because I headbutted him in his testicles every fucking time. Sometimes you gotta fight dirty. I'm sorry. But if you get on side mount and you're fighting over my arm, I'm kneeing you, I'm headbutting you, I'm doing something so that you don't get my arm in the arm bar and tap my ass out. But because I know I suck at BJJ, that's pretty much the gist of what's gonna happen. If I don't do something, I'm going to tap. You know? Then we'll go another round. I can't because my arm's fucked up because you're going to tap me again. And then you're going to go from, well, let's go with the other arm. No. You don't know who you're rolling with until they fuck you up. Then you know who you're rolling with. And then you need to be like, yeah, I don't want to fucking roll with this guy anymore because he doesn't have good sportsmanship. So, of course, I'm not going to have good sportsmanship either. That's why I'm going to knee the fuck out of you while you're trying to get my arm into the arm bar. You're only going to be able to get one. So, you're only going to be able to get one. And while we're fighting over there, I'm on my back. There's no rules to say I can't put my knees into your gut. And if there are, again, leave it down there. Or worse than that, if I use a judo roll, because I'm fighting you, you're pulling me. So why don't I just roll all the way over and now I'm on top now. But you're still fighting me to get that lock. No. So, I'll just pick you up and body slam you, if I can pick you up. If I can't pick you up, then I'm going to try to slide my arm all the way through and pin it under your throat. Because that's street fighting and it's illegal. But that's what I'm going to do to keep you from getting my fucking arm. Now, if you haven't ever had your throat mashed or having somebody push under your throat like this, it sucks. And having it done by the cops doesn't help at all. And yes, I've had it done by the cops for a car that I did not steal. Technically, it was a van. I still didn't steal the motherfucker. But the cop set on me and paid my shit. And I had his gun. But that's another story that you can go find on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. I gotta get ready to go walk these damn dogs. I hope that I taught you something. I really do. There's no room here, and I don't have a training partner. So, I can't demonstrate what I want to show you when there's no one brave enough to demonstrate it on. And then COVID has everybody in an uproar, so there's nobody to train with. But if you don't like it, that's fine. If you do like it, that's fine too. But I promise you, if you go practice BJJ and someone's on the top mount or side mount and they're laying flat trying to pull you off so they can separate your arms and put you in an arm bar, you think to yourself, why am I not kneeing this person in the side? Take that with you. Armbar equals knees. If they're going to try to put me in an armbar, they're going to get every fucking knee that I can throw until I can't. Thanks for watching. For Kung Fu Havoc number 2 and Instagram, my name is James Williams Jr., BC and you.